Welcome back, children. Let us continue with the line-wise paraphrasing of Act 1, Scene 3, line number 52. So, in line number 51, we saw that Shylock was complaining about Antonio and telling us why he hates Antonio, and he was saying that he made fun of me and my business deals and my hard-earned gain, which he calls interest, which he calls by the name of interest. Cursed be my tribe if I forgive him. He says that may my tribe, that is my race, that is the Jewish race, may it be cursed if I ever forgive this man for treating me in this manner. Bassanio, Shylock, do you hear me? So Bassanio calls out to Shylock and he's asking him, can you hear me? So Shylock replies, I am debating of my present store. He says that I was just calculating the ready money, the ready cash that I have with me. Present store is the ready money. And by the near guess of my memory, and by the close guess of my memory, that is as far as my memory goes, I cannot instantly raise up the gross. I cannot immediately raise the full amount. Gross means the full amount of full 3,000 ducats. I cannot raise this much amount immediately. What of that? But he says that does not matter. Tubal, a healthy Hebrew of my tribe, because a friend of mine called Tubal, who is a rich Jew of my tribe, that is a Jewish tribe, will furnish me. He will supply me with the money that I am running short of. So it does not matter. But soft. But wait a while, how many months do you desire? But wait a while, tell me, for how many months do you desire to borrow 3,000 ducats? Then he's saying to Antonio, rest you fair good signor. He says a greeting. He greets Antonio and he says a greeting to you, good sir or good lord. Your worship was the last man in our mouths, that you, my honor, was the subject of our conversation which we were having just now. Antonio, albeit I neither lend nor borrow by no taking nor by giving of excess. So Shylock, he says, Antonio says, Shylock, albeit means although I neither lend money on charging interest, nor do I borrow money from anyone by giving it interest. Excess means interest. So, yet to supply the ripe wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. Yet, in order to fulfill the ripe wants means the immediate needs of my friend, I am breaking this custom, means I am breaking this habit. And he says to Bassanio, is he possessed how much he would? Does he know? Is he aware of the amount you want to borrow from him? Does he know the amount? Shylock, I, 3,000 ducats. He says, yes, I know that he wants 3,000 ducats from me. Antonio, and for 3 months, and also that he wants to borrow this money for a period of 3 months. Shylock, I had forgot. 3 months, you told me so. He says, yes, I had forgotten. 3 months, exactly that is what you had told me. Well, then your bond. And let me see. But here me thought you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage. So he says, well, I'm thinking about your bond. That is the agreement between us for lending you the money. He says, just let me see. But are you listening to me? Me thought means I think you just said that you neither lend money to anyone by charging interest, nor do you borrow money from anyone upon advantage. Upon advantage means by paying them interest. That is what I heard just now you said. Antonio, I do never use it. He says, yes, I have never done it in the past. Shylock, when Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep. So in this we need to remember that Abraham was the founder of the Jewish race. Isaac was his son, and Isaac had two sons, Jacob and Esau. So Abraham was the first possessor, his son Isaac was the second possessor, and according to the times, the elder brother Esau, that is the elder son of Isaac, was supposed to be the third possessor. That is the third successor to the family property. So he's talking about them, that when Jacob is the son of Isaac, he grazed his uncle Laban's sheep. This Jacob was from a holy Abraham, as his wife's mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. He was the third. He's telling them an incident that when Jacob and his uncle Laban, they reached an agreement, and Jacob was supposed to take uncle Laban's sheep outside for grazing. And this Jacob from a holy Abraham means Abraham, the founder of the Jewish race. Jacob was his grandson, and it is Jacob's wise mother who made Jacob get the blessings of Abraham, although he was the younger son. According to the rule, the elder son Esau was supposed to be the third possessor or the third descendant. But Jacob's mother, she favored her son Jacob and got him to get the blessings of Abraham, the founder of the Jewish race, and that is how Jacob became the third possessor. He became the third possessor, that is the third successor to the family property. He was the third. He says that yes, he was the third possessor. Antonio, and what of him? He says that, what about him? Why are you telling me about him? Did he take interest? Why are you talking about Jacob? Did Jacob charge interest? Shylock, no, not take interest, not as you would say. He says, no, he did not take interest, not in the way you understand. You would say means as you would understand directly interest. He did not take direct interest as you would say in the terms of money. Mark what Jacob did. Mark means note carefully what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised, that is, when his uncle Laban and Jacob himself were compromised, means when they reached an agreement that all the inlings which were streaked and pied. Inlings are the newborn lambs, and streaked means having stripes on their body, pied means having spots. That is, the agreement was that Jacob was supposed to take his uncle Laban's sheep outside for grazing, and as his payment, uncle Laban told him that all the newborn lambs which have either lines on their body or spots on their body would fall as Jacob's hire. Jacob's hire means the payment for his services, or he counted it as the Jacob's wages for taking his sheep outside for grazing. This was a way to thrive. Thrive means to succeed. So this was a way to succeed, and he was blessed, and Jacob was blessed by Almighty. And thrift is blessing if men not steal it not. And thrift means a profit, a success is a blessing if men do not steal it. If they do not steal it, then it is a blessing of God if they have honestly earned it. Antonio, this was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. So he says that this is what Jacob worked for. This is what Jacob's duty was as a servant. A thing not in his power to bring to pass, and it was not something that was in the power of Jacob to make it happen. That is, the inlets being born with stripes and spots on their body was not something that was in the control of Jacob, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Swayed means controlled, fashioned means designed. They were controlled and designed by the hands of heaven, means by the hands of God. It is God Almighty who decides how a child is going to be born, whether it's a human baby or a lamb. Was this inserted to make interest good? He says, have you mentioned this story about Jacob in order to prove to me that taking interest is a good thing? Or is your gold and silver ewes and rams? Ewes are female sheep, rams are male sheep, or you are telling me the story to prove that your gold and silver coins are just like the male and the female sheep, which are made to multiply and increase their number. So what here is a reference being made to a story in the Bible. Jacob, the son of Isaac, he went under in to serve his uncle Laban. An agreement was made between Jacob and Laban that the Jacob would receive for his services the lambs which were born with spots or stripes. So during the breeding season, Jacob placed wooden rods in such a position that the shadow of the rods would fall on the sheep. Because of this, Jacob is said to have influenced the sheep so much that almost all the lambs were born spotted or striped, and thus they became the property of Jacob. Shylock, I cannot tell. He says, I cannot say whether my gold and silver coins are like ewes and rams, but I make it breed at fast. But I definitely try to increase my money, increased as fast as ewes and rams multiply their number. But note me, Signor, but listen to me very carefully, sir. Antonio, mark you this, Bassanio. He says, listen to this very carefully. Mark you means listen to it very carefully, Bassanio. The devil, he is calling Shylock, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Just note how very carefully how this devilish Shylock, he can cite means quote. He can quote the lines of the holy book in order to justify his purpose, in order to justify his actions. He is like an evil soul producing holy witness. So he is an evil, a wicked spirit who is giving us the holy scriptures, who is giving us justification from the holy books. Such a person is like a villain with a smiling cheek. Such a person is like a cruel or a wicked person with a smiling face. Or he is like a goodly apple rotten at the heart. Or he is like a very nice, attractive, good looking apple which is rotten from inside. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood hath. He says, what a goodly outside means an attractive appearance lies has. What an attractive appearance falsehood hath. Shylock is thinking 3,000 ducats, 'tis a good round sum. So he says, okay, you want an amount of 3,000 ducats. It is a good big sum, good amount of money. 3 months from 12, then let me see the rate. He says, okay, you want this big amount of 3,000 ducats for a period of 3 months out of the 12 months in a year. So let me think about the rate of interest I have to charge. Shylock, Antonio, well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you? He says, well, Shylock, tell me, are you going to lend us this money? Are you going to lend us this money or no? Shylock, Signor Antonio, many a time and oft. So he says, Sir Antonio, many times and very often in the Rialto you have rated me. In the Rialto means at the Venetian Stock Exchange called Rialto, you have scolded me. Rated me means you have scolded me about my monies and my usance. About my money and my usances, my money lending deals, that is the money that I charge as interest on the money that I lend. Still I have borne it with a patient shrug, and I have always borne it means I have endured it very patiently by shrugging my shoulders. I have had patience. For sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. Because, for means because, sufferance means long suffering. Showing patience in suffering also is a badge, means it is a characteristic of my race, the Jewish race. They suffer very patiently. You called me a misbeliever. You called me a non-believer. You called me a cutthroat dog. That is, you called me a murderous dog. You and spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and you spat on the long loose cloak which we Jews wear traditionally, and it is called the gabardine. You spat on it, and for all use of that which is mine own. And why did you do this? For what was my own, that is for this, because I put to use that which was my own, that is the money which was my own. I was lending to the people, and I charged interest on my own money. Well, then now it appears you need my help. He says, well, now it appears that you have come to seek my help. Go to then. Go to then means come. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You have come to me and you are saying that, Shylock, we want money. You say so. You are saying this. You have come to me and you are asking for money. You that did void your ruin upon my beard. Void your ruin means you spat on me. You are the one who spat on my beard. And foot me as you spurn a stranger cur. Foot me means you kicked me out of your threshold. Over your threshold means out of your home, just like we spurn. Spurn means just like we kick out a stray dog. Stranger cur. Stranger means stray, cur means dog. Just like we kick out a stray dog from our house. Monies is your suit. Now I believe money is your request. So I end the video here. In the next part, I will upload the line-wise paraphrasing of the remaining part of Act 1, Scene 3. Hope you've understood. Thank you.